Hi, it's Catherine with Daily House Publishing, and this is your path to the bestseller list. Subscribe to this channel if you are interested in weekly videos on how to pursue a lucrative career as a self-published author or content creator. I produce one video per week for YouTube and one per week for my Facebook group. So check the description for the companion group, also called Path to the Bestseller List, on Facebook, and you'll receive a activity-based video through that group. Today's video is the top 9 mistakes that new self-published authors make. I'm going to just overview the top 9. There's a lot of information actually to cover, so I'll probably expand on each of these topics in separate videos, and I'll add those links in the description as they become available. So we'll start with number 1. That is not building an audience before you publish your book. So a lot of writers retire to their writer's cave and they type away and they create this amazing book, and they emerge and launch it, and they expect big sales and they get crickets. The reason is because during all of that time, oftentimes months, sometimes years, authors are not building an audience, and so there's no awareness of the book. So the book is ready, and you need to start from scratch building an audience. The solution to this mistake is to build the audience as you go. So you're interacting with your readers, and that feedback will shape the book and make it much more marketable, and it will sell much better once it's ready to launch. Number 2 is a fun one. This is using dodgy Amazon hacks. So it's funny, but it's actually really common. So new authors want to use sometimes black hat techniques, or maybe purchasing traffic and reviews for their book. So that is not recommended. Now there are white hat, or there are proper ways to get reviews, sales, and traffic to your book, and then there are the wrong ways. First off, do not buy reviews. Don't go to Fiverr and buy a bunch of reviews. They will be poor quality, and you're going to be found out, okay? Also, asking a bunch of people to write reviews that have not read your book, have not laid eyes on it, is also just really obvious to Amazon. I mean, when they get reviews that say, this book was amazing, I loved the middle, and the end was incredibly suspenseful, obviously that person did not read the book, right? So you want verified reviews, you want genuine reviews, you want to build excitement around your book through a book launch group and an audience that is actually reading the books or book. The other dodgy hack is to attempt to reach bestseller status by finding a category with no competition. Now this is not a problem if your book actually is relevant in that category, but a lot of new authors place their book in a irrelevant category, like say you're writing a young adult dystopian fantasy, and you want to get that #1 bestseller status, so you put it in the category for crocheting for dog sweaters, okay? So yeah, you might hit #1 in that category with some strategic traffic to that category, because there's not many books competing for crochet patterns for dog sweaters. However, again, you'll be found out. Amazon will know that it's not a related category. And also all of the crocheters will notice that the book is in the wrong place, and they'll report you. So you need to find, yes, the most granular, the most relevant, and the true category for your book, and then attempt to build up the #1 best-selling status for that category. Number 3 is writing about the wrong thing. Now, You may have had a book nagging at you for 10 years, like a splinter that you need to get out of your soul and you need to write this book. So write that book, okay? So I'm not saying don't write that book. And it can come from personal experience. That is totally okay. But if you don't know what to write, or you've you are on your second book, or there's lots of scenarios, what you want to do is you want to research topics that are popular. You want to research genres or subjects for how-tos, or you want to explore the market. And then you want to also differentiate yourself. You don't want to write that exact same book, okay? So find something that is a marketable category, subject, and then write it in a unique way. Number 4 is overpricing or underpricing. So on Amazon, they make it pretty easy for you. They penalize you if you over or underprice your book, especially if it's a Kindle book. You get 70% royalty if you price your Kindle book between $2.99 and $9.99. If you price it outside of that bracket, you get 35% royalty. So in most cases, it does not make sense to price either above $9.99 or below $2.99. When it comes to print books, it's a little more difficult, but then again, market research is crucial. You need to find competitive titles, and then you need to price comparably. If you price a lot higher or a lot lower than books that are in a similar category, it's just going to harm your sales and the credibility of your book and make you look unprofessional. All right, number 5 is buying a full or hybrid assisted self-publishing package. Now, I provide assisted self-publishing. I mean, that's a service that I provide. I provide all sorts of formatting and design and marketing for authors. So there's nothing wrong with that, but there is something wrong with these cookie cutter packages that provide no service and promise the world, okay? So they can range from a few $1,000s to tens of thousands of dollars, and they are normally all inclusive. The first thing that happens is you lose your distribution rights, and they don't really care about your book, so they don't do a good job with the distribution. You might be sold that you're going to go into all the bookstores, bricks and mortar, but that doesn't happen, okay? Customer service also tends to be, they don't really care. They're selling you a big package. It's like, they're going to give you this book designer and this interior designer, cover designer, this editor. They're all probably of a mediocre quality. And when you are unhappy with it, there's not much you can do about it. You're pretty much, hooked into that package. Now, not all companies are like that, but I have worked with a lot of authors who my primary job was to extract them from these contracts that were all-inclusive self-publishing packages. Okay, number 6 is not understanding ISBNs. So basic rule of thumb is you do need an ISBN for any printed version of your book being sold through a bookseller, online or offline. You don't necessarily need one for Kindle books, and there are some booksellers that don't require them. But the key element here, I'll link to a longer video that describes all of the elements of understanding ISBNs in the description below. But you just need to understand them. You need to understand what you're getting into. If you buy one from a publisher, you may be giving the distribution rights to that publisher. Or if you don't realize that you need multiple ones, you need one for every iteration of your book. The audiobook, the Kindle book, the print book, the hardcover book, you need a bunch of them. You need barcodes, okay? So you need to understand ISBNs and distribution. And that is a mistake that authors make. They don't understand them. They get confused and they write buy the wrong thing. Okay, number 7 is not taking yourself seriously as an author. It's easy to do that. You have, probably a job that pays you, up front. You either go to a job or you work for yourself and you bill. Writing a book is an act of faith. It's a leap of faith, and you need to give the writing tasks that you need to create a book. This is daily writing habits. This is growing your audience. This is marketing. You need to give that top priority. Otherwise, it's just always going to be down on the list and you're not going to get around to it. You're going to say, I don't want to write a chapter for my book. I can't bill for it. It's not paying. But if you come from that attitude, you'll never get it finished. It needs to be your priority. You need to really believe in yourself. All right, so number 8 is self-publishing to get discovered. I touched on this in one of the other mistakes, but I've come across this a lot. I come across an author who has a book, a finished book, and that author has queried publishers and agents and sent out 100 letters and has not been picked up. And so what they do is they self-publish in order to get discovered by a trade publisher. And that almost never works. If you're going to self-publish, believe in the self-publishing process. It's either one way or the other. If you want to be published by a legacy traditional publisher, then if you don't get picked up, then you need to rewrite the book or pitch better. But if you're self-publishing to get discovered, it's just not going to work. And the other thing is that you are sort of a mark for these kind of shady companies that say, I see that you have a great book and we want to, represent you, and then they charge you a big fee for some sort of package where they say that they're going to get you exposure, or you're going to be on this website that certain publishers look at and buy books from. And most of the time, 99.9% of the time, it's bullshit. So don't self-publish in order to access the world of trade publishers. Number 9 is not paying for editing and proofreading. You can skimp on anything else, but you are just gonna, even if you're an editor, even if you're a accomplished editor or proofreader, if that's your profession, you're gonna miss stuff because it's your own work. Okay, you in your head, you know what you're saying, and so you're gonna gloss over things. Even if you have advanced techniques in proofreading, if it's your own work, you're gonna miss stuff. So you do need to, at the very least, hire a proofreader or copy editor. If you're new to the game and you're not super confident with your writing skills, get a structural editor. You get a bonus, and that is, so you can design your own covers and interiors, okay? I presented it to my Facebook group, Path to the Bestseller List, this top 10 list, and I guess I got the most pushback or negative reaction from stating that you should hire cover designers, interior designers for your book. Yes, you can do that on your own. If you have the skills, you can, absolutely. But if you don't, then I really suggest you hire a professional designer, and not just a graphic designer, not just a graphic designer, but specifically a book cover designer for your cover and a interior designer for your print format and your ebook formats. That's it. So that's my top 9 mistakes that self-published authors make. And number 10, there's a bonus for you all. So if this is information that you're interested in, if you want to learn more about each of these mistakes, I'm going to go ahead and make videos about expanding on each of these. Subscribe to the channel and you'll get weekly videos here. Also join my Facebook group to get additional bonus videos each week. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Thanks a lot, and don't forget to subscribe.